Welcome. So you have a paper due and your teacher needs you to use good sources in your research. So with so much information available on the internet, how do you know what is reliable information? This video will help you to do research for your essays and show you how to determine if a website is credible. Before we begin, have you ever been tricked by an appearance? Maybe something you thought looked good turned out to be not what it seemed to be. Well, sometimes websites we find can be the same way. This information will walk you through a checklist of what to watch for as you complete your academic research for your English papers. Take these websites, for example, alone. Which do you think is the professional website? The one on the left here or the one on the right? If you pick the one on the left, you're wrong. While it may look like a nicely organized professional site with lots of pictures, it's actually a fake. So how would you know that? This is where evaluating websites comes into play. We can use a checklist to help us guide us through our efforts. We want to look at who created the site. What single person or organization or company set the site up? What is the purpose they have? Is their information accurate, current, and is it relevant to the topic that you're covering? So remember, who is the authority behind the site? What is their purpose? Is their information accurate and not biased or misleading? Is it updated fairly regularly? And does the information cover your topic well? When considering if a site is useful, it is helpful to know the domain endings. Domain endings are simply what follows the URL address. Most of these are well-established sites that end and meet our checklist criteria. We have .edu, educational institutions such as universities are generally reliable, .gov, government agencies, .org, which could be nonprofit organizations, some are unbiased and some have good agendas, and a .com business. Some are reliable and some are not. These sites tend to have more advertisements and can be made and owned by anybody with less regulation, so just remember that. Here is a search on global warming. We see several choices. The first one is a .edu. It's an educational site at Stanford University. You can find lots of information from this site, but be careful because professors provide free websites to students. You wouldn't want to cite a freshman's research paper on global warming, would you? But you can find lots of credible information from the faculty and researchers there. The .govs are great sites to use if you want to know about certain laws, drugs, and so forth. If you were to do a search on diabetes, we could go into one of the sites and see that they have reliable information by looking at their About page. We can see that they have credentials for posting the information that you're reading, and they have phone numbers and addresses. We can also go deeper into the website and look at the mission statement and the purpose of their organization. We see here they have a board of directors. Just realize that while they sometimes provide accurate information, be careful because they have their own site's potential biases or opinions associated with their site. On the other hand, this Wikipedia site should be used with caution. It has multiple authors who edit the site and may provide misleading information, and sometimes they don't even post their names. Here we have a disclaimer showing you that they are not updated, their sources, and so be very careful when you use this site. You can familiarize yourself with your topic, but do find other information elsewhere. Have you ever been on a website in which the content was slanted to persuade you to purchase or support their product? This medical website entry about diabetes looks well laid out and appealing with its pictures. It probably has more on the topic than you would need for a research paper. It is more than likely reviewed by a licensed medical doctor, however. And you might notice at the top of the right page, there's an advertisement. This is a hint that the website has some third-party advertising. You might start to ponder whether or not the web content would be biased in nature due to their promotion of a product. Here's another search on a CDC for diabetes prevention. At the top here, we have an excellent choice with the .org and some .edus, so any of these would be reliable. However, steer clear of advertisements. These sites are distracting and have lots of pop-ups and more to clutter your computer. The information presented is most likely not reliable in-depth research. Blogs may be interesting and fun to read, but usually only cover the topic lightly and lack detailed facts and information. These sites need to be viewed with a discerning eye, as they are not a solid research site. So, to find good websites, be sure to look for the documentation, quite like when you're asked to cite your sources in your paper. Where are the sites pulling their information? If you're looking at a website that is talking about cancer treatment and so forth, it is critical to know where their information is coming from and whether the sources could be trusted. See how current the research tool is. While copyright date isn't too important with sites relying on historical information, currency is especially important with sites with rapidly changing information such as legislation, news, or medical information. The currencies of medical sites are extremely important when researching current health epidemics like influenza breakouts. So, 6 ways to check your websites. Look at their credentials. Be sure that they have well-researched information that's documented with their sources. Make sure that they have timely updates, that the topic is appropriate, that you can contact them, and their mission statement is stated. Thank you. Good luck.